Yo, 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 what's going down? What's good? It's your boy B.O.N.Z, the Smack God, joined as always by my main man, the Marvelous One. What's cracking? How you doing, folks?
Cool, man. How you doing?
You know what I'm doing, man. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. The basketball gods are shining down on us right now, shining down, gracing us with good basketball and content.
Good basketball content. Every matchup is looking like I see one sweep. I see New Jersey sweeping Boston. That's probably gonna be a given. Other than that, it looks like there's gonna be some pretty long series. What's your impression of the playoffs so far? Now that everyone has played it in 2 games.
You know, man, before I get to that, I just want to talk about, man, how good it is to have something sports-wise to talk about this show. Last show, I damn near wanted to talk about Kobayashi, the hot dog eating champion. We had to bring out Mr. McMahon and his power walk from like 1999. We're scratching the bottom of the barrel for some content. Yeah. But this week, between teaser, Kwame Brown, the NBA playoffs, LeBron, and I got a bit of a humble brag. I got a little bit of a humble brag.
Okay, I'm listening.
You know, I think episode 2, we kind of had a conversation about dudes, right? Mm-hmm. About dudes. And I want to go back and just have a quick listen to something that I said on that show here.
Okay.
Russ Westbrook's not going to be that dude getting the big shot.
His plus minus is minus 2.2 right now.
Give it a second. I thought I had it queued up. My bad.
That's fucking trash.
Here we go.
Here's a guy I'm going to put my cape on for, and that's Trae Young. I'm going to say dude for Trae Young. Rightly or wrongly, I'm rocking with Trae Young. I think he's the second best shooter in the league, and I just see that he's only going to get better.
I'm not going to quite go with dude on him yet.
Whoa. What were you thinking there?
I'm a prove it kind of guy. And he hadn't been on the stage yet. So I couldn't quite anoint him, just like I couldn't quite anoint one Ja Morant. But looking at the results so far of both players, I know the Hawks didn't pull it out today. That wasn't because of Trae Young.
No.
And it doesn't look like the Grizzlies are going to pull that off tonight either. But, you know, both those dudes and a lot of young dudes in the league knocking on the door.
If I am a producer / director for the NBA, and this is a television show, I'm pitting this as the old guard battling off the young, hungry talent. And it's how many more years can they do that and make it happen when you've got the Trae Youngs, you know, you got the John Morants, you got the Zion Williamsons, and really realistically, you still got Ben Simmons. You got these type of young guys who are improving year after year, and Father Time is undefeated. So how long will the Steph Currys be factors? How long can LeBron keep this up?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think this series against the Suns, I mean, it's too bad Chris Paul is hurt, but
yeah,
you expect Chris Paul to get hurt every playoff series.
yeah.
But I think this series versus the Suns, a young, inexperienced, but up and coming talent, I think that's going to go a long way to see how long LeBron is going to last, you know, being at the top of the heap.
You know, speaking of LeBron, man, I've got some content for you guys today. But yeah, LeBron he's an interesting dude in the fact that last game, did you see the flop from last game?
I saw it. And it's getting to the point where you could say, did you see the flop from any game? Because it's getting to the point where it's like one major flop per game.
Yeah, he absolutely does this, and he does it. Oh, here it goes. I don't know at this point in time, is he not just aware of it and it's just him just having fun and being a meme?
I don't
Is he
know.
playing with us? Is he just having fun with this? Or is he really, what's going on here?
I think he's trying to get some type of edge with the refs. I think the physical edge that he's had throughout his career is, I want to say, it's waning because he's injured. He's probably more injured than he needs to be, than he's leading on. But at the same time, that physical edge that he had, 16 years out of his career, I think it's dissipating a little bit. So he's trying to find a mental edge. I really think that he's aware of it, but he's still going to keep on doing it.
So he thinks we're dumb. He thinks we're buying this. He thinks he's gaming the referees, and he's just out there he's putting on a show, and he thinks like, yeah, watch how I do this.
Yeah, I think it's totally planned. I think he's going to exaggerate any type of contact, either to gain that edge or to make him, I don't know.
So watch what he does here. This is crazy here. This is funny because he flops, and then people start fighting.
Phoenix Suns. In the comment section down below,
they start fighting, and nobody's paying attention to him.
Oh, right.
And you guys think end up winning this series,
and he has to run back over there because there's nobody paying attention. He did all this flopping and acting, and nobody's around. So what he's going to do is he's going to snake back to where everybody was at, around everybody, so he can get that attention again and go down. Look at this.
It's ridiculous. And he's claiming that his buddy, his banana boat brethren, Chris Paul, pulled his arm. Like Chris Paul, who is maybe about 6 feet tall, probably not tipping the scales above 200, is strong enough to yank him down and presumably pop out his shoulder. That's what it looks like happened. It looks like he dislocated his shoulder on this little contact right here.
Yeah. It didn't. When he released it,
had his arm, did not pull it down. He
released
let it go right here.
And then look at him.
He is way too big
to be doing all this, right? And then the funniest part to me is that everybody left him, so he's laying on the ground by himself. So he gets up and walks back over to everybody's at. It does it again. Oh, LeBron. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe he's just kind of trolling, having fun with it. But if he does indeed think he's smarter than everybody, and this is the reason that he's doing this is pretty fucking sad. Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
He's basically just trying to gain some type of edge, because his physical edge is not as apparent as it used to be. So, well,
my thoughts on LeBron James. Niggas don't get together and drink wine in a barbershop and talk about things. Yeah. So he's just, I don't know. He didn't have a childhood, right? Like he's just kind of figuring it out as he goes along.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he's just making it up as he goes along. I really do. Right. So far, who's your quote unquote MVP for the first two games? Actually, let me reframe that. Could it be anybody but Luka? That's your MVP for the first two games.
It has to be Luka. It absolutely has to be Luka Doncic. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of these highlights here, because Luka Doncic is going
hits the game's first shot.
nuts.
That's a good sign. He missed. All George, you have to take
It's
a shot
fun
in the
to
first
watch.
couple minutes, being defended by Doncic, gets past him, and good ball movement.
Luka does things that shouldn't be possible. And the most remarkable thing about Luka is how slow he is.
Yeah.
He's incredibly slow, right? But just watch how he's able to stop on a dime. He's deceptive. He's crafty. Look at that. That dude was gone. And he just pulled up.
Yeah. He just stopped all his momentum.
And the dude's jumping 6 feet away. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do what he's doing.
I can't recall someone, especially given the fact that he's 22. Now, mind you, Luka's been playing professional since probably he was 4 years old. I don't know. He's been playing professional for a long time.
Yeah.
But what he's able to do at 22, I mean, there's only one 22-year-old I can think of that was this crafty and able to control a game. And that was Irvin Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
That's the only guy I can think of. I know it's kind of taboo to say to compare a white dude to a black dude, but that's the only guy I can think of at that age who can control a game like he can.
Like he's doing, right?
Right.
His vision and the way his brain is just seeing things and setting things up is just, I've never, like you said, it's Magic Johnson. That's who that is that does that.
Yeah. But he's obviously a better scorer than Magic, better shooter. But
yeah,
other than that, I mean, that's what he reminds me of, the court vision, the ability, because Magic was never fast. The ability to get to his spot is uncanny. And I mean, the Clippers are throwing everybody at him. Everybody, Pat Bev just to annoy him. Kawhi was on him. Paul George has been guarding him. It hasn't mattered. It really hasn't mattered.
I'm just watching these moves as he Euro steps into passes.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah. The way he moves he's almost like the old guy at the Y.
Yeah.
He's like the old guy at whatever pickup game that's moving slower than everybody else, but still going to get to his 12-foot jumper.
Yeah.
Not going to get off the ground during that jumper. But
he's been shooting for 18 years in this very gym.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, so far, with the Clippers, their hands full. They got their hands full. The fact that they tanked the last 2 games of the season, the regular season, to avoid a potential matchup with the Lakers in the first round, and they got the Mavs instead.
The basketball guys don't like when you tank.
No.
It doesn't work out for you.
You had an opportunity to avoid this matchup. And not only does Luka kill him, Tim Hardaway Jr., give it up for him. I mean, geez. I think he's averaging like 25 the first 2 games of the series. And
I like the juniors. I like the juniors, man.
I like the juniors too.
They all come in.
Me and you are both one. So
yeah.
You're biased towards that.
This is correct. This is true. Yeah, the junior, but the juniors come in. They've got a certain amount of. The juniors rarely come in and just murder it from game one.
Right.
They usually slow cook their way up into being really, really, really solid pros.
True.
I mean, Austin Rivers isn't a junior, but he's Doc Rivers' son. If you watch that guy's game, he came into the league as a certain thing, and then now he's a bona fide starter. He's a factor and a fixture in the NBA. He's had a really nice run, and I think early on the thought was he was in the league because of who his father was, not because of his basketball skill level or athleticism.
Right. I think there was definitely a case to be made, not necessarily of being in the league, but the fact that he was hyped up as much as he was, coming out of Duke. I think that probably hyped him up a little bit too much, was above his actual skills, but he's made his way into the league, and you got to give it up for a guy like Seth Curry too. You know, a lot of people were saying that he was getting a chance because not only his dad but his brother.
Yeah.
Seth Curry is a bona fide. I mean, he's one of the best shooters in the game.
Yeah, he truly is. And again, a solid pro. And I think he's done a good job of being Steph Curry's little brother.
Yeah,
right?
I give him props.
You know what I mean?
Because he went to Duke, but didn't get drafted. Played in the G League for a number of different teams, including
Yeah, right.
He took the tough route, and
He really did.
He could have easily just said, "Yeah, I don't need this," but
He really did.
but he stuck to it. And like I said, he is a definite solid pro that just about anybody would love on his team.
Yeah, so here we are. Grizzlies appear to be going down to the Jazz as we speak right now. Ja Morant has a 40-plus night going. I've got Ja Morant as a dude. I've got him and Trae Young as the dudes.
I definitely have Ja Morant as a dude. I definitely have that. I remember the first time I saw him play, you know, Murray State.
Yeah.
Wasn't in, you know, wasn't in too many high-profile games. So the first time I saw him was in the tournament a couple years back before he got drafted.
Yeah.
And I watched him one time. I'm like, this dude is special. This dude is special. And I'm glad he's getting the chance to shine a little bit here.
Me too. And the funny thing about him in college is I like to be early on players, and I like college basketball more than I do pros. Mm-hmm. So I watched him playing a couple games in the regular season, and I'm telling one of my boys, like, hey, yo, there's this player. Wait till you see him in the pros. He's probably going to go late in the first, maybe a second rounder. But I'm telling you, I see it. I know it when I see it, right? I kept telling man, this guy, I can't remember his name, da-da-da-da. And then when I see, like, the mock drafts, he was like the number 2 player. Like, okay, never mind. I saw something that nobody else saw. I was like,
you caught the diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I thought I was in on him.
Hey, you know what? That's the reason I tuned into him, because I had saw that he was projected to be up there, and I was like, dude, from Murray State, really?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I gotta check him out. So when he came out and I saw him play, I was like, oh man, this dude is special.
Yeah,
this dude is special.
I guess he's like kind of like a Russell Westbrook, right? Where like his aggression,
his athleticism is up there.
Yeah,
his and to be this is becoming the new shot. Not necessarily the new shot, but the shot that a lot of guys are coming up with is getting to that lane and getting that floater. That is becoming one of the most unstoppable shots in basketball. Guys like, Steph has mastered it. Kyrie's mastered it. James Harden, to a certain extent, has mastered a floater. But these are guys that have been in the league, 8, 9, 10 plus years.
Yeah.
These young dudes are getting the floaters in the lane. That shot, I mean, I hate to say it, but that shot killed our Warriors the other night in the play-in game.
Yep.
And both Ja and Trae use it in game ones of their respective series to clinch the game.
It's unstoppable, and it's a fairly high percentage shot because you're able to take it like 12 feet in, right? It's just
and the thing that makes Jaws really special is the fact that he could jump out the gym. It's not only
you got to respect his attack on the rim, but
you got to respect his attack on the rim. He's jumping 40 inches and then releasing a floater. I mean, no one's going to block that.
Yeah. How do you defend it? Defend it?
It's all about hoping he misses. That's the best defense you can have. And that's becoming the new deadly shot. Like I said, Trae Young hit one in game 1 to clinch that game. Ja's been doing it last couple games, and it's becoming the new thing.
You know what I kind of think? I'm going to take a long time to get to a short point. Is that I heard Damian Lillard talk about shooting like that, the science of shooting, because shooting is a science at this point in time. It's everybody has a philosophy on how to do it. What's the best way to do it? We've got metrics, and probably about 3 or 4 years ago, the types of shots you were going to take to kind of determine how you put together your roster. Remember the Houston Rockets, and all they did was shoot threes, and they're like, it's layups or threes. We won't take any mid-range shots.
Right.
Just doing like the Billy Bean, the getting into the analytics, whatever, and that's what it was, right? One thing I heard was, like I said, Dame Lillard. He talked about his numbers said that he shot better when he was further back from the three-point line. So he started practicing shooting threes from 5 feet behind, 4 feet behind, 6 feet behind. And what the real reason for the accuracy increase is that the defense didn't pick up until the three-point line. So what you're doing is you're actually taking an open shot the further back you are. So it becomes a higher percentage shot because it's less likely to be defended, right? So I say that to say this: if you look at that floater and you start, I believe the mid-range is coming back to the NBA because there's a reason for it. It keeps the defense honest.
Yeah.
So what's happening now is these guys are finding a way to score in between, whether it be a three-pointer or an attacking rim layup. It's either that pull-up or a nice floater, right? It's your second level scoring attack.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the least likely to be defended hard because guys are flying out and closing out on three-point shots. If you're inside, people are protecting the rim. But that mid-range is a kind of a soft zone of defense. So I think that shot is being shot less contested. Or even if it's contested, it's a floater. It's a shot for people contesting a shot.
Yeah.
That's why you shoot.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you said, it's that middle range. Not necessarily mid-range, 10 to 15 feet. You're looking at, 6 feet, 7 feet.
Yeah.
Not getting to the rim because there's shot blockers there. There's, it's a crowd in there most of the time. But it's getting to that area that is, just wide open. So, yeah, it's becoming the new thing. And, man, it is a weapon.
Yeah, the floater. Got me thinking of things we're going to be doing at practice this week. The floater.
Gotcha.
We're going to have to add that to the loadout.
All right. What else has stood out to you?
Oh, man, you know what? Let's give it up, man. Let's give it up to the Knicks. Let's give it up to the Knicks, man. Okay. The Knicks, to me, are the East Coast version of the Oakland Raiders. They are the beloved team, the team that had some success. They were never really a dynasty, but they are the heartbeat. They're the absolute heartbeat of that state.
Yeah.
It's the Yankees and the Knicks. I don't care how many Super Bowls the Giants win. That city isn't really a giant city like that. The Mets, they had their run with Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden, you know what I mean? Keith Hernandez. They've had some good players along the way. But make no mistake about it, that's always been a Yankee town, right? So even the Nets can do what they do, but tonight, New York City is rocking, New York City is partying, and it is because of the success of the Knicks. And they haven't had this level of success in a long time. So it's fun to see. I seen some things today that were, I seen Stephen A. Smith celebrating in the tunnel with like a bunch of fans. And he looked so fucking happy that I had to be happy for him. You know what I mean? He's waited a long time to celebrate like that for this team.
Yeah, it's good to see. It really is. Not that, either one of us are Knicks fans.
No.
But it's just one of those things where they're one of those teams that is good to see them succeed. And when they do succeed, it makes the league better. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to win the championship, but, they're in there. MSG is rocking. And it just makes the league better.
Yeah, and the league is better when the Knicks are the Knicks, right?
Definitely. That's going to be one of the best matchups of the first round is Atlanta and New York because, neither team has a playoff experience. Neither one. I think New York has like Derrick Rose and somebody else. Oh, Taj Gibson. They both have a little experience. Atlanta, I'm not even sure who Atlanta has as playoff experience. Oh, Luke Williams, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah, so
right.
it's going to be a. I should call him Lemon Pepper Lou. Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou. That's right. Lemon Pepper Lou sure was hit. He was gonna get some
The
wings.
last 8 shots.
He was about the wings.
Oh, yeah.
So they're gonna show the fans celebrate this here. What'd you think about the way that Trae Young, when he did his thing, the way he kind of came at them Knicks fans? Did you see that?
I did see it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. I absolutely loved it.
Right? Right?
I loved it. Oh my god, it's fucking quiet in here. Oh, to say that to the Knicks crowd. First of all, the game wasn't even over yet. Knicks had a chance to get a shot off to win that game, or at least tie it up. So the game wasn't even over. So that the audacity he had to say that to the crowd was just.
And a 3-point play.
So there goes. Speaking of that floater, right?
Yeah, that's the floater right there.
Look at him. Look at him. He's spiking his hands on his hips. Look at Spike. What's up?
Oh, yeah.
Look at him. Hey, Mark, it was at that moment. It was at that moment in time. It was at that moment in time that he became a dude. That was it. That was the moment. Like, we can look back on this moment right there. He made Spike Lee do this in the garden in the front.
He made Spike Lee look like your grandma told you for staying outside too long or something.
Yeah. He became a dude right there, bro. He became a dude. I'm very proud of that guy. That was a moment. He put on the heel hat, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like he was here for the smoke. Yeah, that's big. I want to just kind of talk about what's going on with this sport of basketball right now. There's something happening right now. When you have Luka Doncic and he's taking out Kawhi Leonard and what's up with Paul George, homie? Because let me say this. There was a time when I couldn't stop people from talking about Paul George going to the Lakers and how the Lakers finna ball out when they got Paul George. I was thinking to myself, okay, you get Paul George. So? And I've never been a fan of Paul George. I just heard people talk this guy. He even got his own shoe. People talk this guy up. But why? Why? Why do people talk? What am I missing about Paul George?
To me, you're not missing anything. Because I don't see it. I don't see him being anything better than above average. I'm not going to say he's mediocre. I'm not going to say he's not an all-star when he makes it. When he makes it, he deserves to make it. But I don't see him as being much as more than above average.
So you know how just above average he is, how just good he is. I don't mean like good. I'm like, he's good, right?
Yeah.
He's at the level of good that when we talked about dudes, his name didn't even come up.
No.
Didn't even come up. Didn't even come up. And here they go again, getting their teeth kicked in the playoffs, underachieving. What is going on with the fucking Clippers?
You know what? I had a rant. I had a rant for the Clippers. I really did. But you know what? I'm not gonna rant on them because they're the Clippers. This is what they do. This is what they do. They have never ever made it to a conference finals yet. How many good teams have they had? How many 3-1 leads have they blown? Has there been anybody that's blown multiple 3-1 leads in a playoff series? I don't know, but the Clippers are going to clip. That's what they do. The fact that they not only traded, I don't know how many first round draft choices they gave up to get Paul George, but then they re-signed him too. This is not going to turn out well.
Somebody needs to give me a job in the NBA because I'll tell you, don't make that trade for Paul George. Don't do that.
Somebody needs to pay me like they pay Paul George to be above average. I mean, can I get paid like
anything in life?
Above anything in life. I don't even have to be great. I just have to be above average and get that pay. Yeah, give that to me. Yeah, they're in trouble. You just don't go down 0-2 at home and expect to bounce back. And given the fact that they blew the 3-1 series last year, so now they've lost what 5 in a row in the playoffs to lower seeds. I don't get how they're going to bounce back from this. I really don't.
To know about you.
It's interesting. Okay, so I think as we start to talk about the narrative I put up, when we're talking about the young guys, the young Bulls taking on the old guard, right?
Right.
And I think we're starting to see maybe the first casualty of that is going to be playoff P and Kawhi. And I think they had an interview with Kawhi. Let's go ahead and get into that interview with Kawhi real quick. We'll see what he had to say. Kawhi has something important to say, I believe, here.
I'm a fun guy. Obviously, I love the game of basketball. I mean, it's just more questions you have to ask me in order for me to tell you about myself. I just can't give you a whole spiel. I don't even know where you're sitting at.
I don't know how much fun Kawhi is having right now.
He's a fun guy. That laugh. Well, let's get that one, boys.
Where you sitting at?
That can't be real. That's about as real as Eddie Murphy's laugh.
Kawhi's a different type of dude, man. He's a different type of dude. But whatever type of dude he is, hey, he got sandwiched in between some fucking hitters. So even though he's got a couple of chips, ain't nobody really remember him the way he should be remembered or could have been remembered. He's never going to be seen as the best player in the league. I don't think there's ever a year where he was the best player in the league.
No.
Right?
I think, you could make an argument that he was probably maybe the best two-way player in the league, but
yeah,
no, I don't think he's ever been the best player in the league.
Like the years he was good, LeBron was better. The years he was good, Kevin Durant was better. The years he was good, Steph Curry was better. And when those guys are getting older, the younger Luka Doncic is better. Trae Young will be better. Ja Morant will be better. He'll never have an MVP.
Oh no.
But put his head on a stake. He's the first head. Well, he's the first head they're taking down. The littles, the young Bulls. He's the first head they're putting on a stake. Luka Doncic will be coming from LeBron James this year. He will not be successful, I do not believe. I don't believe he's just quite there yet. But next year, I don't know. I think it could be the Dallas Mavericks are going to be a real problem. We're going to have to see what the Warriors do in this offseason. But the Dallas Mavericks are going to be a real motherfucking problem. They're going to have to blow up this Clippers team. And that Laker team is leaking oil. They are leaking oil right now. They are getting by right now. They are skating by. They're going to have a really tough time when it gets later into these series. And whoever comes out in the East, they're going to have a tough time against that team.
Yeah. I'm not ready to count the Lakers out yet because it's like if the Lakers don't win, who is? Who's strong enough right now?
The Nets.
Huh?
The Nets.
No, I'm talking about in the West.
Oh, in the West. No, they'll come out. They'll survive the challenges.
Yeah. So, like I said, if the Lakers don't make it, then who? I don't know.
Dallas.
Dallas? I'll have to see what they're looking like. Who their second round matchup is. I haven't looked at the standings or brackets lately, but Dallas could definitely make some noise. A team that is probably the most solid as far as besides Dallas right now. I have to see how this series plays out, but I think Portland could probably make another run to the conference finals at least.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Because if you look at every team besides Dallas, every team in the West has some type of flaw. Utah is just getting back Donovan Mitchell, although he looked good tonight. Memphis is too young. Clippers are the Clippers. Dallas, like I said, no real flaw right there besides the youth, but Denver doesn't have Jamal Murray. Phoenix, Chris Paul is compromised, and the Lakers have looked a little slow. Portland, like I said, I have to see how this series plays out because Denver made an adjustment the other night and put Aaron Gordon on Damian Lillard, and it completely turned around that game. I have to see what Terry Stotts' adjustment is going to be to that. But Portland, the healthiest they've been all year. Damian Lillard is still Dame. CJ's solid. They have to get a little bit more from Nurkic and Carmelo and Norman Powell, but I think they can make a run to the conference finals.
Portland. Okay, this is going to be one of the few times I strongly disagree with your take on something. Let's back it up a bit and just take a look at the schedule. Actually, we'll go to the standings. So we look at the standings right here. We'll see very clearly that Portland, first of all, they're in a dogfight for this one here against Denver.
Right. I can see that. That's like I said, I'm gonna have to see how this series plays out.
But after that, they're going to either have the Suns or the Lakers. I don't see Portland beating the Lakers. If Phoenix wins, then perhaps. But I don't even really have Portland coming out of that series. I don't even, and I know Jamal Murray going down hurts the Nuggets quite a bit. But this is a team that, and correct me if I'm saying something inaccurate, they've been getting some playoff experience. They've been having an opportunity to have some tough playoff games. And I think that starts to pay off around now. They were like the Suns a couple of years ago where they had like the best record or one of the best records, right, or like the Jazz, but no playoff experience to go with it. They've been getting some playoff experience.
They have, but the thing about it's not only that Jamal Murray is hurt, Will Barton is hurt. Their other backup, PJ Dozier, I think that's his name. He's been out this series as well. Austin Rivers, who they just signed, I think in late April, is their starting two guard right now because of injuries. I think Portland can pull this out. I'm not sure. I'm not going to bet the house on it, but I think they could pull this out.
Well, everything you're saying, you can't refute anything that you're saying. I just think that this team was, if anything that the Nuggets had better than the rest of the league, and it was depth. They've just been grabbing a bunch of fucking talent. So to lose Jamal Murray hurts. But drafting Michael Porter Jr. a few years back with like the 12th pick in the draft when, he was the number one player in that class coming out of high school. Yeah. He just had injury concerns, so people just kind of passed on him. Average at 21.5 in the playoffs right now. Aaron Gordon, you got the Joker. They've got a lot of talented big players. So they're an interesting matchup. So, yeah, they're slacking in some areas. But they have enough talent and they're a tough enough matchup, I think, for the Blazers. I think they're going to be really tough for the Blazers to handle the size they have. Talented bigs. So it's going to be the bigs versus the littles, really, because, the Blazers have one of the best backcourts we've seen in a few years here. But it's going to be tough. I think this is going to be a tough matchup. I think this is going to be a very tough matchup.
Yeah, I definitely think that as well.
So is that your pick, though? Do you have the Blazers coming out of there?
No, I have the Blazers out of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Portland's going to pull out. I
You
really
got Portland. Okay. I've got Denver, not a strong lean. I'm just going to go with Denver. I just think that they have a better roster, even with the injuries.
Yeah.
Lakers are going to beat the Suns. As much as I like to troll the Laker fans, they're going to beat the Suns. They're going to beat the Suns.
They're especially with the compromised Chris Paul. They're going to, Phoenix maybe gets one more game out of the series.
And Chris Paul, I got to give it up to Chris Paul. He's finding a lot of success late in his career, and it's just a testament to the basketball player that he is. I don't know that he's getting his just due for how good of a basketball player he really is, but I thought he was going over to Phoenix basically to get bought out and kind of finish out, or just finish out his contract and get out the league. But he's got them in the number 2 spot, and he had the Thunder looking good last year.
Yeah, but I'll say, to be honest with you, the last couple of years, it looks like he was, it didn't look like he was going to stay in OKC at all last year at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He was a trade to Miami or get bought out. And he has made the most of his last 2 stops. So, yeah, he does deserve props for that.
Yeah. Shout out Chris Paul, man. Utah, I got Utah beating Memphis as much as I love John Morant. How do you feel about that series?
Yeah, I think Memphis might get one more game at home, but Utah is a definitely deeper team. Their 3-point shooting is killer, and Memphis, that's one thing they do. Like besides youth, they're just not a great 3-point shooting team. And Utah is the best. So you get one of the worst against one of the best. Plus, like I said, they're deeper. Yeah. Utah's going to
John Morant is averaging 36.5 points in this postseason.
He's special.
Yikes.
And the thing is, he doesn't have an outside shot yet. He's not shooting great from deep yet. I mean, okay, quick side note. Who's going to have the better career between him and Zion? 1 and 2 in the draft.
Ja. I'm going to give it to Ja. He's going to have a longevity. I think that Zion Williamson's game is just too power-based. How long is he going to be the most physically dominant guy? I think Zion Williams is going to be more like a Blake Griffin, where once that fast twitch starts to fail a little bit, an injury or 2 more, and he loses some of that, he's only going to be able to do this for a short period of time.
I 100% agree.
Because LeBron is special in the fact that even though he's got this power game and he's a freak athlete, his joints are holding up. His ACLs aren't tearing. His MCLs are fine. His ankles are good. His back is all good. He's got all this torque he's putting on his body and very little wear and tear. No major injuries.
I agree with that. I think Ja, not only he does have physical ability. I mean, like I said, he could jump out of the gym, but it's not so. That's not what his game is solely based off of.
Yeah,
and given the fact that
on that.
Yeah, and given the fact that he is, I mean, the NBA is what the NBA is right now. Is guard orientated. The fact that he basically controls the game for his team, that's something that Zion doesn't do and can't do. I think he'll have more of an impact on winning than Zion will.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to do it better, longer, and he's going to add a shot. He's going to continue to add tools to his toolkit. And I just don't know that Zion's going to be able to do that, or that his body holds up through what he's doing right now, which is really fun to watch. I'm a big fan. But to answer your question, I got Ja. I think it's John Luca. That's the future of the league right there.
Yeah. One more point about that. Zion, neither one of these guys have reached their ceiling. It's only the second year in the league.
Yeah.
But with Zion, you can kind of see where his ceiling is.
Yeah, right. I see it. He's Karl Malone at best.
You can see his ceiling. We don't know what Ja's ceiling is.
Nah.
No, I don't think we know what a guy that could jump out of the gym like Russell Westbrook has handles, has a passing game, and still hasn't added a shot yet. We don't know what we're looking at yet.
Man, exactly. And there was, let me see if I can find it, man. We'll keep having this conversation. But I seen a great article, an absolutely great article. And it was one of the best things I've read in a long time. It was Derrick Rose, and he was talking about how he's not the same player, or they're saying this is Derrick Rose 2.0. And Derrick Rose was saying, like, let me see if I want to find the actual quote real quick. He had an assessment on his game, and it was outstanding. I was kind of paraphrasing because I can't find it. But what he said was just that people are talking about my game. He goes, my game is completely different now. Because I'm not beating people with explosiveness. I don't jump over you anymore. I don't just blaze by you anymore. My game is based off of deception and skill and creating separation and timing. He goes, I'm a completely different, like I'm doing it in a completely different way right now. And I'm like, yeah, that's so fucking respectable, because a lot of people don't know. My daughter was watching them play, and I said something about that to my son, and she goes, did he used to have like hops? I was like, yeah, D Rose is one of the most freakish athletes we've ever seen. Like he had the type of athleticism that, like Grant Hill, like, okay, another person who we kind of got robbed of. Grant Hill was on his way to being like a Jordan 2.0. He was on his way to being that Kobe Bryant before there was Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You know, and he got injured and just never really was able to be that version, but he actually recreated himself. Yeah. D Rose, the same thing. This D Rose that we see right now is just filthy. He's just nasty. He's doing it in a completely different way.
Completely different player than what he was. Better in some areas. Obviously, the athleticism is gone, but the creativity has picked up in his absence. I mean, he can still get to his spots, just not by jumping over people or being quicker than everybody. You know, it's savvy veteranship now.
He's that's how he's doing it. Okay. Is this what it is? Okay, let me see. Is this the article? No, this isn't it. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, he's changed his game up. It's outstanding to see. He's had a very long career, and he had a lot of injuries. I mean, that guy was missing years at a time. It wasn't just like 9 months, 15 months. Like, he was gone for years, right?
Yeah, I think he had like a good solid 2 years where he just couldn't play.
And in retrospect, how smart was this guy? Just you know what? I'm not right. I'm gonna let my body heal. It's like, is he coming back? Is he broken? Is he damaged? I thought he was done.
It took a lot of flack from that.
I thought he was done. I thought he was weak. But the guy is in New York doing it with the Knicks, and that makes it all the more fun. That is being enjoyed by these crazy New Yorkers. You know what I mean? You watch this game. He's a fun guy to watch play basketball right now.
The funny thing is,
about D Rose.
I remember like he was playing at Detroit at the beginning of this year, and you know they, you know, he wasn't doing anything in Detroit. Detroit wasn't doing anything, and they're like, all right, well, what puts you on a team that you want to play on? And they put him on the Knicks. They traded him to the Knicks. And everybody was like, well, why didn't they trade him? Why did he get traded to a contender? And now look at the Knicks. They're right in the thick of things.
Hey, it's him and it's Julius Randle. I love guys that surge late. That's going to be the theme of today's show is these guys who are surging late. But Julius Randle was a guy, and he's out of, is it Kansas or Kentucky?
Kansas.
Out of Kansas. Okay, that's so. Coming out of Kansas, I thought he was baby LeBron. He was just a man amongst boys. When you watched him play, he was skilled. He had mid-range. He could yam on you. He was just kind of a dude. He was a dude in college. Like he's one of those dudes, maybe the best player in college that year. And kind of went middle lottery pick and was with the Lakers for a while and had a decent career there. But if you look at him now, right now he's a budding star, not quite superstar, but he's on the verge of being like a star. If he can get the Knicks to the second round, I think he becomes a star.
If he can get the Knicks to a second round with this squad and the fact that I think they're projected to finish like with the second worst record in the East, they might throw a parade for him. they just might throw a parade for him.
He'll deserve a parade. He'll definitely deserve a parade. No doubt about that. Very happy for Julius Randle. And it seems to be working out for that dude. And, he doesn't really even score. Like he just has big buckets, though. When I'm watching the guy play, he's player Big Eddie.
Yeah, and they're running their offense through him, where he's the guy he's the guy involved in the pick and roll action, either as the pick guy or the roll guy. I mean the ball handler or the roll guy. I mean, you look at the roster, there's nobody that stands out besides those two. There's Derrick Rose and there's Julius Randle. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know Taj Gibson was still in the league.
I know. I saw that. I see that dish to Taj Gibson where he dunked it.
Yeah.
Bullock is sitting wide open threes.
Bullock is doing his thing. Alec Burks is doing his thing off the bench.
He was on the Warriors, right? Burks?
Yeah, he was on the Warriors last year.
Obi Toppin. Like, this is a roster that shouldn't be working.
No, it's RJ Barrett's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a roster that if you looked at the beginning of the year, you're like, yeah, there's nothing special about that. They might make it as an 8 seed. And here they are as a 4.
I guess Alex Burke has 27 points in. Wow, okay.
Interesting. He's been playing well. I mean, he's had a breakout season. I think it's his second year in the league.
Yeah.
He's been like the Knicks version of Jordan Poole. Just just improved.
I mean, we got Jordan Poole much later, so I'm much happier with that with what we've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jordan Poole could. Hey, if Jordan Poole was on the Lakers, they'd be happy right now.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it the other day. It's like Jordan Poole could probably start for 10 teams in the league. He could probably start for a couple playoff teams.
Jordan Poole makes me feel really good about when Klay Thompson comes back.
Yeah.
Like what we'll have and how good we'll be. What's the name of the scrub we got to get out of town? That's how much I hate the guy we got from the Suns. Kelly Oubre. Oh man, he's the rare junior I don't dig. I don't like Kelly Oubre.
Kelly Oubre is about as inconsistent as you can get.
He's a dummy, and he's a dummy. To me, he does dumb stuff. He does a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah, I think best bet for him with the Warriors, first of all, he's already said he doesn't want to come off the bench. If you stand with the Warriors next year, you're coming off the bench.
Just, I feel like when you're with the Warriors, just shut up. You know what I mean? Like, just trust the process. They've got enough rings that you should probably just shut up.
Yeah, I think hopefully they'll do a sign and trade with him this offseason because I don't see how he fits in. I don't see how he fits in with the team.
He doesn't. So let's get to the shits though. Last week was really interesting. It was like a glitch in the matrix. Matt Barnes and Steven Jack have their show, All the Smoke, whatever. And they got to talking about your boy Kwame Brown. Ha, Kwame Brown, all-time legend, Woonty, making jokes at him, whatever. And as everybody knows by now, Kwame wasn't really with the shits like that, right? And he said a couple of things, and they kind of try to dismiss him. Then they talked to Gilbert Arenas about it. And Gilbert Arenas was like, hey, man, I ain't messing with Kwame. I like Kwame. Kwame's a big dude. I've seen him and his brother knock out bodyguards or bouncers. I've seen a whole, I've seen a whole crew of bouncers take them to just them two. Because I like my face just the way it is. Kwame ain't got no problem with you. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So to the average person, they may think like, okay, Gil's just being funny, all right, whatever. That to me, that was very telling to me. That told me that Kwame, that Kwame is definitely not that guy to mess with, because if you know anything about Gilbert Arenas, you know he is a prime asshole. Did you see when he went to Swaggy P's house to terrorize his kids?
I don't think I saw that.
You ever seen that?
No.
Well, I kind of thought you might say that. So I've got this video here that shows this. And this is just how savage Gilbert Arenas is.
Because the nigga won't give me the gate code.
He's jumping over Swaggy P's gate.
Why he cheating all the goddamn.
And then he goes, and this is right after Swaggy P got caught cheating. Remember that the little scandal they had where D'Angelo Russell had Snapchatted Swaggy P in the bed with another girl? So the next week, Iggy moves out. So Gilbert videotapes himself jumping over his fence. He said, I'm about to go ask Swaggy P why he's cheating all the time. That's how he started his video.
My nigga, me? Why you cheating on Iggy all the time? Huh? Why you cheating on Iggy all the time?
Why are you cheating on Iggy?
Where the bitches at? Huh? Where the bitches at? You ain't got no bitches? Nigga, you look like Martin. Brother Sunflower. Hey, but where the bitches at, though?
Brother, if you talking about bitches, you talking to the wrong.
Oh, yeah? You know I love the kids, right?
Fuck them kids.
Fuck off the couch.
Just do my fucking son on Snapchat.
Yeah, I heard you got a problem with your baby mom.
All right. So thus far, we've seen him hop over his fence and call him a bitch ass nigga because he didn't answer. Walk inside the house and ask him why you keep cheating on Iggy. Take his son's toy and knock it off the couch and say, fuck them kids. And ask him where the bitches at. And then look at Swaggy P's reaction. Like, hey, all right, man, all right. This is if you're keeping score at home. We're not done yet, though.
Man.
It's getting better. It's going to get better, I promise.
You know I'm the new OJ. I take care of her for the low price. You got a basketball court in your backyard, and you still can't get no motherfucking playing time? Shit. This nigga got hit by the ball. You got hit by the ball? Do you like me? No. I don't like you either. What the fuck you doing? He took this nigga's soul. She took it.
That's fucking savage. That's fucking savage. Do you like me? No. Well, give me your fucking shit. He threw that nigga scooter. It was racer scooter. Now, I'm always looking for an excuse to show somebody that video because I absolutely love that video. But I play that video today to say that that guy is saying, I don't want no problems with Kwame. Hey, Kwame, I want no problems with you. He punked somebody's kid and put fuck them kids on Snapchat. But when it came to talking spicy about Kwame Brown, I don't want no smoke. Kwame's not the one you want to have a problem with. That said something to me.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember they had that, Gilbert had that little incident. Oh my God, a little incident.
With Jamarcus Crediton.
Yeah. I think that's his name, Javaris or Jamar. Yeah. Bringing the guns to the locker room.
Because they were shooting dice and
over a car game or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that he is willing to bring guns to the locker room to back up his point, but he hears or sees someone mentioning Kwame Brown, and he's like,
I want no smoke.
That should tell you something.
Smoke. Yeah. Gilbert Arenas got the blicky on him. He's got the blicky on him. He keeps it with him. Even in NBA locker rooms, he's got the blicky on him. Yeah. So if you got the blinky on you and you still showing this, I don't want no problems with this dude. To me, that says something. Like it says, all right, that's a guy, that's a real dude. And I do got to say that Kwame Brown was the absolute best thing on the interwebs last week. I want to kind of show people what Matt Barnes had to say. He called Matt Barnes Becky with the good hair. I just want to start by saying Matt Barnes does have great hair. He's got great hair. I'd be lying if I said that I'm not a little bit jealous of Matt Barnes' do. I'd be lying. I don't think that Kwame Brown was really off with that, but let's see what Matt Barnes has to say about Kwame Brown.
Brother Brown, you've been ranting for about 5 days now. Your cry for help, your need for attention has worked. I heard your Instagram following has grown over 30,000 the last handful of days since you had my name in your mouth. But don't be fooled by this new attention, bro. All these people that are gassing you and putting a battery in your back, all the platforms that are picking you up, didn't give a fuck about you last week, bro. They don't love you. They just love the drama and the old jokes you're saying. They don't love you. They don't love me. They don't love no one. They love the drama. That's it. But come on, all the smoke. Come talk your shit face to face. You got a story to tell, obviously. You're hurt. Like I said, you can play it off with humor, but you're hurt. And I get it. But come on the show. Talk that shit. Tell your story face to face. There's no bigger, better platform than ours. You can say what you want. We're an award-winning platform. We don't tear down black men. Because you're the butt of the joke. Now that's what you're on. You think we're tearing down black men, but if you actually watch the show.
So quite a few shots fired there. Gunshot, blicky, clap, clap, clap. See, Matt was still kind of on this is sweet. Like, all right, Kwame, nigga, fuck you, sweet nigga. Ain't nobody really tripping off you. Ain't nobody tweaking off you. Come on my show and see if you say that to my face, right? I don't think Matt Barnes had quite got the memo after Gilbert Arenas was like, I don't want no problems. But Charlamagne the God went on to say, leave Kwame Brown alone. Did you see that?
I think I might have heard about that. I never actually watched it.
Okay. Well, you heard what he said about Kwame Brown's father is currently in prison?
Yeah.
Because he buried somebody alive. And he's got a brother who's currently in jail for murder, and another brother who took somebody's life or attempted to take somebody's life. So I think Matt Barnes probably didn't know that when he started talking like that. But irregardless of that, we got to just play a little bit of Kwame, just a quick bit.
All right.
Becky with the good hair. Hey, oh, fuck! No, he didn't do that. We not gonna put you on. These niggas so silly. They don't know what they want to do. Nigga, we don't need you, nigga. Nigga, we not gonna put you on, nigga. Go back to wherever you was at. This and that. Come on the podcast like men. Let's talk face to face now. If you want to box, if you want to this. These people on the internet don't love you. Did you love me when you were talking to me like that in front of that that white woman, bitch? You niggas crazy. Did I say I love these people that claiming they love me? No, they listening to some real words, you punk motherfucker. Use them little white ass. I think you a white girl now, nigga. With that slick ass hair. Boy, you got that finger wave going good too, boy. You look real cute though. The Dennis the Menace looking motherfucker. This nigga got a Dennis the Menace comb over talking about all this shit. Shut your bitch ass up. I'm not coming to your platform now, ho. When I asked to come and talk to you niggas because I was too small, you were talking to the little guy. And now I grew my own platform just by talking to your bitch ass and telling you to shut your goddamn mouth. Now all of a sudden I'm worthy enough to come on your platform and you'll be doing me a favor. You know I'm hurt and I'm screaming for attention and I'm in the front seat of my car that I was always on. You dumb bitch, I was on my tractor the other day, stupid bitch. After I cut my grass, I was on the tractor. Go look at that video, ho. Fuck you mean. You niggas stupid.
I think Kwame won that exchange.
I would have to say so. I would have to say so.
So if they do fight, who you got in that fight? Matt, because Matt Barnes, he from Sacramento. People out here say he was legit. You know, he with the shits. Matt Barnes once drove 100 miles to go fight there. He had to break into his own house, of course, but he went to go fight Derek Fisher. He drove 100 miles and he was still mad when he got there. Beautiful drive. He lives in Calabasas. You know, him driving on a nice night on your way to Calabasas. He got there. He was still mad and fought the nigga over his girlfriend / wife, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he'll fight you. He will fight. We could get we could get a fight out of this.
I think so. I don't see Matt Barnes as a kind of guy that would back down under normal circumstances. I think the fact that he is making his livelihood in the media now, not necessarily hardcore media, but he's on the NBA jump from time to time.
Yeah.
He has his Up in Smoke platform.
Yeah.
This is his way of making a living now. And I think that part of him is probably going to stop it from escalating to a full-blown fight.
So I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I just have to wonder why would he go on his platform and say, if you want to box, we can box before, during, or after? Because he brought up actually fighting.
Yeah.
So if you are trying to protect these connections you have and businesses that you have, then why even talk about that publicly when you could call the guy and like, hey, let's meet up? But you did that. He challenged him to a fight publicly.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that might be a little bit of marketing on his behalf, you know, because I think the old Matt Barnes would have been like, you know, like he did. He didn't tell anybody he was going up to Derek Fisher to fight him. He just drove up there and tried to fight him.
Exactly. He wouldn't handle his business. Yeah. He went like,
I think there's a little bit of a marketing ploy for him to put it out in the public. I know there's probably a big part of him that, you know, says, I'm Matt Barnes. I'm about that life.
Yeah.
You want the smoke, you can come get it. But I think, you know, he's trying to protect his investments and saying, I can't be that thug out there fighting in the streets.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a large part of him that really wants to go out there and be that gangster. But one thing I do have to say is that Steven Jackson's also another dude that kind of goes in that I'm a real gangster type dude, and I think that's why they make a good team. But Steven Jackson pieced it up with Kwame Brown. I think that we've had Kwame Brown fucked up for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that we've collectively found out that Kwame Brown isn't here to be the butt of anybody's jokes. He's taking shots at Stephen A. Smith, Jamel Hill, Rachel Nichols, Charlemagne the God. I mean, and anytime he says something to somebody, they all just back down. They're all like, I was wrong. Charlemagne gave himself Donkey of the Day for exposing the information. I shouldn't have said that. Anybody who's like Steven Jackson, like, hey, you know what? I disrespected him. He disrespected me. We'll leave it right there. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting at everybody, and everybody has just kind of turned himself into a pumpkin. Like, nope, I don't want that. I don't want that. And
about that.
I just want to see Michael Jordan say something now. That's the last person he needs to address. Michael Jordan. When I was 19 years old, you bullied me, nigga.
Yeah, I was about to say, so does Kwame Brown bring that up?
Yeah, he's been speaking his truth. These are things that clearly bother him because he has said, I'm going to take him, I'm going to believe him when he says things. And he says basically he's disappointed in the industry that these people took shots at a young kid. He considered himself a kid, a 19-year-old kid. He describes himself as a kid. So I'm thinking that he felt a lot of hurt by the way he was characterized in those days. And he carries that with him to this day, and he's just tired of it.
Yeah, so this is almost like therapeutic for him.
I think it is. I think he's finally getting a chance to address these things. And I'm very happy for him. No, people shouldn't get it twisted and think like, because somebody's good at basketball, that makes them, a real nigga or this or that, or if you're not good at a sport, it means you're less of a person. Because I could tell you, Chris Harshberger was one of the probably the best shooter I've ever seen in my life. But Chris Harshberger had no meaningful relationships. Did he? Did he have any?
I can't remember.
Did he have a squad? I don't. I can't recall anybody ever saying something nice about the guy. I just can't recall. Maybe I'm missing it. But Kwame Brown is a guy that he played in the league 10 years. That's not a bust to me.
No, it's one of those things where it's not his fault that he was the number one overall draft choice. And that was in the time period where, it wasn't uncommon for a high school player to come out and ball out. And it was, the high school players at the time, it was boom or bust.
Yes, it was. You had to gamble on it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you're picking a guy who's 18, 19 years old and projecting him to be one of the best.
Yeah.
Where, it turns out that he wasn't one of the best. He was just a serviceable big man for 10 years.
Yeah.
So, again, it wasn't his fault that he was the number one overall pick. A lot of that has to fall on Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah. I've often felt like Michael Jordan is to blame for a lot of that, and he doesn't seem to be taking. I'm not a Jordan fan, so don't get me started on this guy. But yeah, put that on the team that they put around him. Gilbert Arenas has gone on to say, like, he said some interesting things. He was like, this dude, like, he had it. You would see flashes of him when he would move because he was athletic and he could jump and he was strong. And when he would go off, you'd be like, oh man, what's up with this dude? Why he's not doing this all the time? Then you would see other times, you'd be like, oh, okay. He's not always going to have it on like that. And you can also, Gilbert also said this. He said that in games, he'd get booed at home. And he was like, and they would call sets for him to get the ball on the post and score. And he would tell Gilbert, like, hey, man, can we let my first shot be a putback? Because his, you know what I mean, his confidence was gone. He was getting booed at home, and Michael Jordan kind of embarrassed him to his peers, and there was all these things going on with this guy. So who's to say in a different situation he doesn't go on to become Sean Kemp, a Sean Kemp type of career? Because skill set wise and size wise, he mostly reminds me of a Sean Kemp.
Yeah, I was thinking more KG, but he was stronger than Kevin Garnett when he came out. Because you looked at Kevin Garnett his rookie year, you're like, I don't know what this guy's going to be. And it turned out that he had the right support system.
Yeah,
he had Kevin McHale, he had Flip Saunders before that.
Yeah, that's right.
System. He had good veterans.
Yeah,
Sam Castells.
Yeah, stabilizing forces.
Yeah, so
time to develop.
Yeah, before he became the KG that everybody knows and loves, or some people hate, Carmelo Anthony. Before he became
KG. Oh, that's right, because he said "La La pussy tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios."
Yeah. So before he became KG, he had a good support system. He had Flip Saunders. He had veterans like Sam Cassell. And he, like I said, it could have gone that way for Kwame Brown. I think it definitely could have, because physically he was more advanced than KG was at that age.
I think he could have had a better career than Tyson Chandler. And I think as it is, Tyson Chandler had a much better career. But I think he could have been better than that.
Yeah.
Gotta refill real quick. You gonna go in on anybody this week?
No, you know what? Like I said, I had a rant about the Clippers, and I'll just keep it brief about them. I have to go in a little bit on them. Now, like I said, the Clippers are going to clip. This is what they did. It's what they've done there throughout the whole history of the Clippers organization. But the fact that you have the audacity to tank games at the end of the year against two of the worst teams to try to avoid. Now you say you're resting. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. You were trying to avoid a potential matchup with the Lakers in the first round. You didn't want the Lakers smoke. The wounded Lakers. You guys are 10 times more healthy than the Lakers. So I would much rather, face them in the first round, take them out while they're down.
Yeah.
To avoid them, and now you're getting Luka. You're getting exactly what you deserve. And I'll just leave it at that, because other than that, they are the Clippers, and until they prove me wrong, they're always going to be the Clippers.
To think about a year and a half ago, I was thinking LA was in a new management. It seemed like the Clippers had pulled off a coup and getting Kawhi Leonard over there. Then they followed up with the news of Paul George. The energy was like, yo, they got this thing and it's rocking over there. It's rocking. And the Lakers don't know what's going on. And Magic Johnson, we found out Magic Johnson was really the problem, but did it get him out the paint? But once Magic got out the paint, they got Rondo. The Lakers started putting together a team of guys that I would put on like the worst guys you could possibly add to a roster at this point in their career. It was Rajon Rondo. It was Dwight Howard, who likes to grab men by the balls. Check last episode. Like I said, Rajon Rondo, who's a complete head case. And then I thought they were trolling me because they added Michael Beasley. Like, you ain't adding Michael Beasley.
Oh, and they added JaVale McGee too.
JaVale
McGee. I was like, oh my gosh, they need a camera crew to follow these guys around. This is going to be the best reality show on TV.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was expecting. But they somehow pulled it all together. It all worked out, right? And they got the We'll put a air quotes and call that a championship. The bubble chip. You know what I mean? I don't know. Do we count the bubble chip? I mean, oh man. I don't even think an asterisk is a strong enough way to classify that championship.
I think you need the whole story behind it.
I don't think they should even get a banner. I think they should get like a patch.
Like a Boy Scout said.
Yeah. Weevilo patch. I don't. No. You can't get a banner for that. I mean, no.
Go ahead. Your point about the Clippers.
Oh, it just seemed like It just seemed like they were under new management, and to see where they're at right now, that they're avoiding the Lakers. So realistically, if you were going to try to take over the city of LA, and it seemed like that's what they were trying to do, you needed to beat the Lakers. You didn't even get a chance to play the Lakers last year because you got put out. Now this time you got a chance to play the Lakers, and you tank games to avoid the Lakers. Why the fuck would you do that? Like you said, they're not super healthy. They're just kind of rounding themselves into shape. You're going to give them a series to get themselves together into jail? Doesn't make any sense. You can't duck phase in the NBA. You're going to have to play them at some point in time. And strategically speaking, this is the time to play them.
Yeah, and
right now.
In this
situation, right now.
It is. You know, in previous situations, it might not be. You might want to say, oh, let them get tired out by playing this team that 6 games, or that team 7 games. But in this situation, it was perfectly set up. LeBron's not completely healthy. AD, you know, is in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Their depth is not there. This would have been a time to take him out, and you purposely avoided him. And like I said, you're getting Luka, and you're getting Tim Hardaway Jr. You're getting a little bit Porzingis, and you're getting 0-2 deficit.
You're down 0-2 at home. You're on your way to Dallas, where those fans are going to be going crazy. I say, you know, best case scenario, you're going back 3-1.
Best case.
You know what I mean? You're going back 3-1.
Yeah. All right, you got anybody to go in this week?
Nah, man, I'm feeling very kumbaya this week, man. I'm very happy for Kwame Brown. I'm very happy that everybody has kind of bowed and kissed the ring and kind of respected that young black king. I'm very happy that basketball gods have blessed us with content. It's just there's realistically, there's really nobody I want to go in on. Even like outside of sports right now, the idiots have been quiet for about a week at least.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
The idiots have been quiet.
I can scroll on my timeline and not just find stupid people. I like that.
It's been all right. Now maybe I've deleted the people, they deleted me. I don't know, but just in general, nah, man, life is great, man. This is the last bit of sports of the sports cycle that I'm really going to enjoy before we go through the dead period of just baseball.
Yeah.
Until we get Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
It's NBA playoffs, dead period of baseball. Hard Knocks ramps it back up, then we get into the NFL, right?
Well, you know, that's the thing about the pandemic. You know, they started the season later. So it's going to go. The playoffs, the finals are going to go into July for the first time.
Good.
So
that's actually good.
It's going to be July finals, and then soon after, Hard Knocks.
Hooray. Unfortunately, they won't be keeping this format, but I think they should start a week before Christmas.
Yeah, the players, and they're not going to want to give up their summer. I don't blame them. You know, NBA has the best off season because they get during, you know, summer months. So players aren't going to want to give that up.
This is true.
And I don't blame them. As much as I would like the season to start around Christmas, I can't fault them. I can't fault them for not giving it up.
You are absolutely correct. So I guess we'll just have to enjoy it this summer. But no, nobody to go in on. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic, man. Life is good. Sports are great. and content is everywhere. And I'd want to get back together maybe this Sunday or something and kind of get another show in, because I want to talk about these playoffs. These playoffs have got me kind of walking on clouds right now.
Yeah, the playoffs. All right, so the two teams, the lower seeds, have played on the road. All of them have gotten 2 games in. Let's check in after the two lower.
The next two.
Yeah, next two. See where we're at.
Next two. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm gonna tell you guys out there: ignore the seeding, ignore that number, because the number is meaningless. It doesn't tell you who the better team is right now. It does not.
Except Brooklyn and Boston. Sorry. That one's a wrap.
That's the one, but that ain't because of the number. That's because of the jerseys. That's because of the numbers.
Yeah,
it's the guys you got out there. But yeah, that is the one where it really kind of does line up. But just in general, though, if you're looking at the 1 seed versus the 8 seed, do not be fooled. You're looking at the 2 seed versus the 7 seed, do not be fooled. If you're talking about the West, 4s and 5s are always close. 3s and 6s, you've got the Portland Trailblazers beating the Denver Nuggets. I'm on the Denver Nuggets, but I see why you're on the Trailblazers. I'm sure you're on the Lakers, you're on the Trailblazers. I mean, realistically, half of the series you're going with the lower seed.
Yeah, I'm going with the lower seed in a couple of these.
Or even Dallas.
Yeah, even Dallas. Yeah, they're lower seed. So, the West is a toss-up right now. I think the East is going to go chalk eventually. I think it's going to be, that 4-5 series is going to be a doozy. But other than that, it's going to go chalk in the East. But the West, I mean, some of these series you might be able to flip a coin and be right.
And tell me, who do you have? Do you have the Knicks or do you have the Hawks?
Ooh. You know what? Given the fact that it's 1-1 right now, I'm leaning towards Atlanta. If it was 2-0, I would be on the Knicks, but the fact that it's 1-1, Trae Young's been balling out. He hasn't shrunk in the spotlight. I think Atlanta has better talent overall than the Knicks do. So I'm leaning towards Atlanta in that one.
Yeah, I think at the end of this series, we're going to declare a dude, and I think that dude is going to be Trae Young. If it's not Trae Young, it's going to be Julius Randle. So again, continue the conversation. I really do feel like not only has Trae Young not shied from the spotlight, Trae Young seems like he's been waiting for this opportunity. Like he knows how good he is. He knows how hard he works. Yeah. And he's been waiting for this opportunity. And now he's getting the opportunity. He's getting off. He's looking very Steph Curry-esque. You know what I mean? We're like, but with a little bit more piss and vinegar. You know what I mean? A little bit more piss and vinegar and a little less finesse, a little less skill. Yeah. I mean, and by a little, I mean a fraction less skill, because his handles are absolutely bananas. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Hawks. Won't be surprised that if the Knicks win that one. That's going to be that might be the funnest series to keep tapping into for the first round.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think before the playoffs started, I was leaning towards the funnest series being the Clippers in Dallas.
Yeah.
But now it's actually kind of looking kind of sad. So I don't know how fun it is.
Yeah, when one team goes up 2-0, you kind of take the fun out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's check in this Sunday after everyone's played 4 games, and we'll see where we're at.
See where we're at, man. All right, man. Well, like I said, I'm not going in on anybody this week. It's been a great week of sports. I'm looking forward to the rest of the weekend. Everybody, thank you for tapping in. Last week, we got flagged because we was using some WWE footage, but this week we should be all good. So thanks for tuning in. Do all that stuff they say about YouTube videos. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all the ooh-wops. Yo, Gumby Tribe out. Good show, man.